Hey, welcome to a random podcast where we challenge the status quo and we empower you to think differently. This is your boy JI. Today, I got a treat for you, a major treat for you. If you like playing with dolls, then this is the one that you want to play with. The Melanie Dolls. And the creator of it, I have her here today to be able to express to us this journey. And that is Daytreece.
There we
Daytreece,
go.
I'm going to allow you to go ahead and take over a little bit and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'll dig in a little bit deeper.
Okay. So again, my name is Datreese Thomas. I'm 25 years old. I am a faith-driven entrepreneur, the founder and CEO of the Melanie Dolls. And the Melanie Dolls is a black doll company that I created in order to empower young girls and strengthen them with, positive identity and just instill that confidence that I believe can carry them all the way throughout life. I literally created this business when I was 22 years old and a student at the University of Houston. So that came with its own adversities, of course, but yeah, that's a little bit more about me.
Wow. Well, so, when I was thinking about having you on as a guest, the reason why I was really like, it would be interesting is because I had a question for you.
Okay.
And this is a big question. It's an important question. It's a question that every entrepreneur should know. But specifically with you coming up with the Melody Dolls, why? Why in the heck would you venture down this road? You went to school, you graduated, you can go get a job, get you a check, and be straight. Why in the heck would you get involved in this arena, entrepreneurship, and come out with Melody Dolls?
So it started back when, again, I was a student at the University of Houston, and many people coming to college was with a lot of adversity for me. So I come from a very urban community. I don't like saying the hood, but urban. I come from an urban community, and going to the University of Houston was a culture shock for me and met with so much adversity, and I literally lost myself. Fell victim to Houston, Texas. And if you are familiar with Houston, you know being young and being free, that's a lot, right? And so I came out here and completely lost my mind, completely lost myself. And I got to a breaking point, if you will, and I just remember I had even stopped believing in God. I was questioning myself. I was literally battling with the feeling of incompetency. And so I remember being on my last leg, and it was one of those prayers like, God, if you real, like, I don't even know if you're real anymore, but if you are, I need help. I'm lost. I need something. I was praying for purpose, really. And it didn't happen overnight, of course, but how I picked up the Bible, and reading the Bible did two things for me. It literally changed the way that I thought about myself, and it changed the way that I saw myself. From that experience, I began to just blindly create a product, which is the Melanie Dolls. Each doll comes packaged with I am affirmations. For example, I'm a beautiful black girl. I'm a smart black girl. I'm powerful. Things like that. And so unconsciously, I've just created a product trying to give other little girls what I feel like God has given me, because those affirmations that the dolls come packaged with, again, they reinforce the importance of affirming that positive identity and speaking life into yourself and changing the way that you think about yourself. So like the business and the why is I'm just simply trying to give other little girls what I feel like God gave me. So yeah.
That is strong, because in today's world, a lot of us don't feel comfortable in who we are, right?
Yeah.
It's people. I mean, just in any way. We're always trying to impress others, or we're caught up in people bondage. So that concept of having dolls to help build up self-esteem and identity is a big thing. How has people received it? I mean, you get people all kind of ways, like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, black doll, whatever. Or, yeah, okay, it's another doll. Yep. How have people received it, honestly, on both sides?
I've had nothing but great support behind me. I've never experienced any adversity in terms of the idea of the business, a black doll company. We know the potential that it has to be profitable. We know that it is profitable. We know, if people know, the black dollar is up to like 1.8 trillion. So there is a space. We know how important representation is. We've lacked it as a community for far too long. So I've never experienced any combat to the idea. It's been great on both sides.
So what would you say has been your biggest challenge? Is it raising money, funding? Is it people taking meetings, partnerships? What would you say has been your biggest obstacle? So you got entrepreneurs out there listening, so they want to know, okay, what's been your biggest obstacle? What has it been?
Most of the times you hear people say the normal things, which is the being able to find capital, being able to find funding. That hasn't been my biggest problem as an entrepreneur. My biggest problem has been fighting against myself. And when I say that, this is what I mean. Being an entrepreneur and coming from an environment in which I've come from, and being a first generational college student, being the first person I've ever saw in my life be an entrepreneur, there's a struggle, right? I don't know if I'm dreaming, if I'm being unrealistic. I don't know if I'm doing it the right way. I've never seen it done before, so as an entrepreneur, I'm in my head a lot of times, and it's literally taking me to go read my Bible to bring it back together. That daily bread keeps me focused. But
Right.
the biggest adversity I've experienced has literally been myself, and continuing on this journey through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. Because again, this journey is difficult. I'm broke. I done been up. I've been, I've been featured
Right.
on, Essence, Afrotech, Black Enterprise, all of these things. I've had more than 400,000 people on my website at one time. Those were my highs. Even after that, I've experienced lows. So just being able to navigate that has been my biggest struggle, but we doing well. Well,
Well, that is very interesting, because most people would say, "Man, I need money," but you're saying it's the battle with yourself, and
yeah.
I think that is very key. I think majority of entrepreneurs do not even recognize that the battle is with themselves, because a lot of times we're in our head. We cause ourselves to make mistakes, missteps. We cause ourselves not to step up to the plate because we don't think we're adequate. We think we're an imposter. Like, who am I to do this? When you have to walk in a room full of people who you think are important, and let me explain something to you, that none of them are important. As I always told people, I said, if I ever met the President of the United States, I would tell him or her that it's a pleasure for them to meet me. And people go like, what are you talking about, dude? I said, because I'm a voter. It's a pleasure for them to meet me. I'm the most important person in the room. There's nobody more important to me when I walk into a room. And that's where most entrepreneurs go wrong. You have to go with confidence, even sometimes when you don't know what you're doing. Right?
Exactly.
Sometimes you're like,
I can
oh,
actually speak to, let's say we have some entrepreneurs who are watching who are trying to find funding and capital to fund their business ventures. This is what I'll tell you. When you are able to positively navigate with confidence you are doing, and you show up every day for it, the money comes. And I can even give like a business model that has been successful for me. Take you all the way back to college when I didn't know anything about business. I had was a few samples my product. I didn't even have the money to buy inventory for the product. So I had samples, I took pictures, I was on TikTok and posted on my Instagram. The video went viral. 2 million views in one day, the next day everywhere, all over social media. And from that, the money I needed in order to buy the inventory and much more. So I believe that instead of, because we hear all too often, go to the banks and do this and do that. Although those are great resources, it hasn't been where I've gotten my funding and capital from. Mine has been all organic. And I've had leverage, being that I have such a unique business. I encourage entrepreneurs, create a unique business. And then when you get that business and that product, go up every day, the person for that product, because essentially I've become my business. I'm essentially selling confidence in a package, and when I show up, hopefully y'all can see it on me, so
yeah.
become the product that you sell up every day on social media. That is our best friend nowadays. You don't need money to make money these days. Like, you may need a sample, just like me. Post it, authentic, be transparent, because people are longing for community. People are longing for togetherness, and even right now, people are longing to buy black. So get on social media and be you, and people will gravitate, and the money will come from that.
But you hit on something big time, because how are you supposed to convince somebody to invest in your company? How are you supposed to convince somebody to be a partner? And you're acting like a wimp. You're not acting with confidence. If I'm going to give you my money, I'm going to give you my resource. I want to give it to somebody I know or feel like they can handle it and do what's necessary. But if you're coming to me, with low self-esteem or inadequacies or whatever else to ask for money, I'm not giving it to you. So I think the number one thing that an entrepreneur needs to do is believe in themselves, right?
Exactly.
Then they need to believe in in the product,
Hmm.
okay? And to the point that it's insanity that the
And
whole world can
delusional.
say you're wrong and you are
And
no, 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 I'm
delusional.
right.
You
Okay,
gotta be a little
so
delusional sometimes.
it's right. You got to be delusional. Come on, come on. Now, okay, we're not gonna get into who really invented things in the past, but we're gonna say the Wright brothers invented fire. Okay, you had to be insane to do that
Yeah.
in the first place. Okay, so you think about that kind of mindset. That's the kind of mindset you have to go into business with, especially when you're asking for money, but also when the chips are down, when things aren't going well. Are you just going to pack up and go home? So what you're preaching is good, and I like the part you're talking about alternative ways of getting money.
Funding.
Everybody looks at bank, everybody looks at VCs, everybody looks at angels. There might be ways to raise money online, might be ways to raise money from your circle, different things of that nature. And you know what? That speaks volume. If you're able to do that, that means it's something about you.
Yeah.
That means it's something about
It's
you,
the
and
becoming
that's
part. I
unique.
think becoming the product is one of the like. I don't believe that you should ever sell a product you don't believe in yourself, because people not gonna believe you when you're trying to sell it. But I am my product. I'm the person who suffered and battled in my own mind and had inner low self-esteem that I needed to change about myself, right? And I've done that successfully, and so I'm able to sell a product. Confidence in the package is going to change the way you think about yourself, the way you show up, the way you act your goals, the way you show up in rooms. Like, I sell that, so it's very important to know the product you sell, be the product you sell, and it will sell. And I'll actually add this as well while we're talking about capital, venture capital and sourcing funding. I just recently had a meeting with Magic Johnson Enterprises, and I was super
Yeah.
scared because it's Magic Johnson,
Right,
but
right,
I
right.
still did it because I get this money. So I still went in there. I didn't have, this was my first time even pitching to somebody for funding, and I didn't have all the answers. I didn't know what it looked like. What I did was I literally studied 8 hours straight, maybe looking at Shark Tank, and then putting my pitch together and answering and having all the answers that I could have. I showed up, and believe it or not, these investors are not looking for you to have everything. They're not looking for you to have every answer. They're looking for a person that they can believe in and that they can help develop. They're even willing to help develop you, your business, your product. They believe in the product and the person selling the product. So I think going in, I thought I needed all the answers, and I got some great feedback. We're circling back to in quarter 1 of next year. I didn't have it all figured out, y'all. It was just the confidence. It was just the knowing of myself, knowing of product, and also knowing of the person that I was pitching to.
Well, that's key right there. They don't invest in the product; they invest in the person, and that's where people get mixed up. They think, "Oh, man, I got this great concept, I got this great thing." That's cool, but they invest in people, not in products or services, and they're investing on whether they believe you can pull it off. That's what they're investing in. So just having the presence of mind to say, "I am my product. We are one," presents well when it comes to people like Magic Johnson. So that is very important. For people who haven't been in rooms like that, as I said, you're the most important person in the room. Now, I'm not saying be disrespectful, right? Um, even though I'm borderline arrogant, people always say, "Man, you really arrogant." I said, "No, I'm confident as hell." That's what that is, right? Because guess what? God made me, and He gave me a gift, and that means that I'm superior with my gift. Period. So I say I walk in confidence, I walk in faith, just like you do. But being in those rooms, you do go like, okay, do I have answers to all the questions? Oh my gosh, okay, what if they stick me on this one? Okay, what if? Guess what? You're not supposed to be perfect. You're not supposed to be. And if you act like you are, they're not going to invest in
And
you. They're going to be like, oh, you're full of crap, right? You got to just be honest and like, yo, whoa, I don't know the answer to that one. Do you? I mean, because you're looking for resources too, right? You just don't want someone trying to invest money. You want their connections, the resources, the know-hows, the whole works. If you had all the answers, then you wouldn't need them.
exactly.
So don't think
I
you're
can
inadequate.
also add to the fact that It's better to be completely transparent and honest because they are looking to see if I invest my money in you, can I trust you with this money? So if you don't have an answer, it's better to say, hey, you know what, I didn't think about that. I don't have the answer, but I'll definitely get back with it. Like they want to see the realness, the rawness, the transparency, the I don't knows. It shows your humanness and it shows, okay, I can trust this person. They didn't lie. So they're investing in people. A lot of times when we look at businesses who has like a lot of investors, they don't care about these products if it's not for them. To know if they can invest in you because you believe in this product so much that you're gonna do whatever it takes to sell this product and make them money. If the product don't even serve them, they don't care about the product, they care about you. So focus on building yourself, the product, building the business, and then go out and attack the world.
But that's funny because I remember I had a business advisor, a guy he taught at Princeton, and I couldn't believe he taught at Princeton. But he cussed all the time. I was taught that because you have limited vocabulary, right? But this guy was a doctor, and he taught at Princeton and stuff. I'm going like, go figure, I guess, right? But he was raw. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you need raw people in your life to kick it to you straight. And he said to me, he says, look, he said, ain't what you driving? And at the time, I think I was driving a Navigator or something. He said, sell it. I said, huh? He said, sell it. He said, you need to show them that you are willing to put everything in. You shouldn't have any luxuries, man. I'm like, what? You're joking, man. I cannot have certain luxuries I work hard for. But what he was kind of saying, he was being extreme. What he's saying is that they got to know that if it don't work, they put money into it and it doesn't work, that you're going to be devastated. You're going to be financially devastated. Your whole world's going to be rocked. The reason why they need to know that your whole world's going to be rocked if it doesn't work is because they need to know that you have that as a motivation to make sure it works. But if you're living good, you got the rides, you're dressing nice, you're eating good, you got no problems,
You're not
and
hungry enough,
you're
yeah.
asking for their money, they're gonna be like, hell no. Because I wouldn't give a check to somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, okay, you come to me because you need money, but it looks like you got a lot of money around you. You know what I'm saying? So, you're not gonna get rid of some of that? You're gonna cash some of that in to go into your business? You can't cramp your style. Okay, but you want my money. So, and it's two school of thoughts on that. You got people who, if they're already been successful and they sold companies and they did things, okay, they're going to have luxuries around them, right? And people are investing with them because they know, hey, they're a winner. But if you're just starting the first time, yeah,
They
you think
want the
it's
hunger.
about showing up in the Mercedes and the Porsche or whatever to meet, and they're going to be looking at you like, yo, you living kind of nice to need money and you just starting out, right? So what's the end game? What's your future plans? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get to the point where I know this kind of sensitive for some people, but to sell out eventually or sell to a bigger company? Or is this something you want to pass down to your kids when you have kids? I know you're too young to be thinking about it, but what's the end game for you?
In game, I won't say that I have the exact answer just yet. I know that I do want to do is be the Black Barbie, right? Literally transforming an entire generation. And so what that will essentially look like is going into like media and production, developing cartoons and animations, short films, and things that really just feed the Black culture in a positive, driven capacity. That's all that I know right now. And as we know, God don't give us the full plan. I'm just living by obedience. But definitely see the next 7 years, and that's what it's looking like. But in terms of like the future, do I plan on selling? I plan on going public. I don't know if I'm planning on selling. I won't say I'm against it. But what I will say is if I ever do consider selling, it will be somebody who I completely trust the business, but also with the values, the morals, the faith-driven aspect of the business. So,
Well, I'm pretty pumped about what you're doing. I like this. I have a daughter who's 15, so this is right up her alley because it's all about building up self-esteem. She's very confident now.
that's
She
good.
got
That's
a
a
little bit
good
of my
thing.
personality, man. She's off the chain. She's a social butterfly, all those kind of things. But we know even in our quiet times,
Yeah.
there are times that we question ourselves. So there are things that need to help reinforce that. And so I'm glad that you have come out with something to help reinforce that with young ladies. Now, this is what I'm going to say. This now some people might go like, what? this ain't necessarily a black thing. We our girls play with white Barbies. So I mean, as our society has become more diverse, I think it's a very good thing that I think other races should have other race dolls in their collection. I mean, that would be to me something that kind of shows that we are really bridging the gap.
I've learned along my journey that a lot of times, and for my entrepreneurs listening, you're going to hear to not be so niched, right? Which means don't focus on just one small demographic. And I completely disagree with that because, again, research tells me that the black dollar is up to 1.8 trillion, right? I don't need that much money. Give me
That's
half that,
right. I know what you're saying.
But I'm saying that to say having a product that is for everybody is essentially for nobody. If you're trying to, in your beginner stages, target everyone. What I've learned is it is better, in my experience, to be niched and to really dominate the market in your niche, and then people will come along to that because you've been authentic, because you've dominated in a market. Again, the perfect example was Barbie.
Authentic.
Before they went into the DEI product development, you had black people playing with white dolls, and that's okay too, and it was because they dominated in their market, so everybody wanted to be a part. Everybody wanted a Barbie. They loved what it stood for. So it, again, like you said, it's not just for the black girls, it's for everybody who needs a little identity, affirmations, and building that self-esteem and confidence.
I think everybody needs some color in their life. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Look, man, I
Now
get
they do,
myself
they
in
do,
trouble.
they
They're
do.
like, "What you talking about color?"
They do.
but no, everybody needs to be exposed. But no, something you said though that was very important. Authentic. I'm big on being authentic. People try to be what they think other people want them to be in order to try to climb the ladder of success. And I say the most successful people are people who are just as they are, authentic. So, give you a prime example. I wear a hoodie and I got a beard, and I don't look like a typical business person would look. I spent all my years in my 20s and my 30s with the suits and the whole works, right?
Yeah,
And you know what I came to the conclusion of? It don't matter.
they don't.
If you ain't authentic, then you are just pretending and you're never going to get anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I look at Mark Cuban, I look at certain people who just say, yo, this is me. This is who I am. Take me as I am. Do you like my mind? Do you like what I have to offer as a person? If not, then we keep it moving because everybody's not for everybody. So authenticity is very, very important when it comes to business. It's very important that
Yeah,
if you're not
and
being authentic, then you're creating a prison for yourself.
yeah, and I think the word that it comes back to time and time again is identity. Like you said, it's not about what you're wearing, what you have on, how you look. It's about who you are. And that's one thing that has been emphasized to me through my journey of life is that identity. Who are you? And believe it or not, that it is people out here that are exactly like you, similar to you. That's your target audience based on who you are. And you can't fake the funk, right? You can't fake it. I'm not for some people. The people I'm for is not who you're for. You're not for the people I'm for. Like being
That's
you will
right.
attract the people that are specifically for you. So it's never good to fake anyway. Because anything you have to fake, you have to keep faking to remain in it or keep it. You never want to do that. So be you. You're gonna attract the people that's for you. And it go back
Pass the
to
plate if I can go and put a donation up in there. Pass the plate. She having church up
I'm
in here.
preaching.
She
Am
preaching
I
on this
preaching?
because it's the truth. It's the truth. I say to people all the time, if you don't like me, I don't want you around me anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna change my personality. I ain't gonna change how I am. And yes, could that compromise some of the success that you get? Could you maybe not go as high? You know what? I'd rather go this high and be comfortable and relax and never have to worry about whether I'm going to speak the wrong way or act the wrong way because I made up this facade, then go this far and always be like, okay, I got to watch what I do. Okay, I got to watch where I go. I got to
Yeah.
watch. Who wants to live like that? I don't want to live like that. I want to live just like this and say, hey, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is at the end of the day. Now, I'm not saying be a plumb fool. Like, I'm not saying just be a fool to be a fool, but what I'm saying just be authentically
Be
you.
you.
So, and I think that's what we get from you, that you're authentic, that you created something that represents that, and you get the ideal of finding your niche. You get the ideal of, not looking for resources necessary in the same area. So, I think you have done some unique things, and I think that people who are watching can learn from that. And I, I mean, you said you're 25, right?
Uh,
25, and she's not lying. Like, I told her, I'm 25 and you 48.
no, no, no.
She's 25, and for her to be so young, she got so much wisdom and so much knowledge that she just spit on you guys. So for all y'all that may be late in the game, out of the mouth of babes. I don't mean to call you a babe like that, right? Biblically, babe. I don't want nobody getting on me. Oh, you sexist? No. Out of the mouth is biblical. Read your Bible, people. Okay. But most definitely, and I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you spitting this knowledge. Encourage you to continue to push. If there's anything I ever can do to help out, I so happen to know some people, and I'm proud that you stepped out and you took a risk. So I say, do you have any last words you want to tell the people before we go off there and they are no longer privy to your knowledge?
Yeah, so I'll actually add this for my entrepreneurs that are watching to be so laser focused and remaining in the things that worked before. Allow change. Again, in my journey, on this journey of entrepreneurship, there has been a resistance that I had to fight within myself where I was going to sell dolls. So now moved on to writing a children's picture book that is coming out tomorrow, actually. And so it was a battle. It was a battle getting there though, because again, I was laser focused. Like, no, I'm just gonna make dolls. No, I'm not doing that. I don't know how to write a book. It literally took God Himself stretching me and teaching me that I can do what I'm doing through you. Like you did this one thing, good job. That's not all you're able or capable of doing. So God is stretching me every day. So I encourage everybody else, let God stretch you. Let your experiences in life you create from. That's how I ended up creating the book. And just a quick backstory, I literally had a friend who died of suicide. I was thinking like, how dare I be selling a product where I'm trying to empower people? So it took me a while to realize it, but I realized that empowerment is not enough, right? Essentially for me, it's worked for me, the power of God. Like I need the word of God to transform and change and help me and save me from what I'm suffering from. And so that's what actually pushed me to write the book, and it's called The War of Identity Crisis. And essentially, it's filled with just like a blueprint on how to overcome the war in your mind and what you're suffering from. And it's filled with faith-based and scripture-inspired affirmations. It got a
Where can we
lot
find it?
of
Where can we find it tomorrow?
TheMelanieDolls.com. It's on my website. But I say all that to say, like, let God create through you, please. Like, don't stick to one thing just because you're an expert in that area. Free, expand to explore within your creativity. Let God do things through you. Because essentially, like, trying to do something through you, allow Him to do so. It'll change the world. It will change the worlds of other people as well. So don't stay so laser focused and just create from an authentic place, and whatever that looks like, let it be. Yeah, I'll leave y'all with that.
Bam. Bam. And the choir says, Amen. Yeah, it's called pivoting. You got to pivot. Hey, I appreciate you being on, and much success to you. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.